Yupie, everyone. This is Yupie here, and for a forward before I get to this video, this is a re-recording of my debut question and answer section. The reason I'm doing it again offline is due to a technical slip up, either on my side or because of other technicalities. I sadly lost the VOD of the debut stream on Thursday, the 10th, completely. I was unable to recover it, and it looks like the setting to store past broadcasts on Twitch was off. Even though I was sure it was on before. Maybe I accidentally clicked on it before the stream while I was double checking everything, or maybe while I was cleaning browser cookies, the settings were reversed. In any case, thing is, the debut VOD is gone, but on the bright side, I have every question still still saved. So in that way, I decided to record this section once more in offline. In this version, sadly, you will not see the chat, as sadly it's offline, so there's no chat feedback. And finally, before we proceed, if my answers sound scripted or somewhat rehearsed or sound somewhat different than from the actual stream, that's because I'm redoing them again, and in part I still remember the answers, and in other parts I don't remember the answers as well. I also remember the two last questions that I got on stream, so I will also answer them in this offline video. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have fun, and let's proceed with the question and answers. So, beginning the questions and answers section. The first one is, what inspired you to become a VTuber? Well, what inspired me to become a VTuber, more or less, is, you see, I've always wanted to stream more, but I never really knew what to do about it, because a lot of advices and the like say you should show your face on stream, use a webcam, but I never like to show my face online, mostly for privacy reasons and because I don't want to go through the extra effort of constantly doing my hair, makeup, and always have my room tidy and proper clothes and all the like. I just prefer to maintain that privacy in my life. And I always knew of 2D avatars, but the problem was, actually it's not a problem. I always knew about them, but I didn't know about like it being such a phenomena under the VTubers and the like. So only until like last year or in the beginning of this one did I see it like rise, and then I thought, hey, I can do that too. And I felt it would be more fun, and it kind of fits me more. It would be more entertaining to do it as an avatar that's meant to represent me. So that's pretty much it. What inspired me to become a VTuber was pretty much other VTubers and the want to maintain privacy. Next question would be, not sure if this is a good Q&A question, but how do you pronounce your name? Okay, this is a pretty good question and answers. Q&A question. So you pronounce my name as Yupii, Hunie. So this means that you pronounce my name pretty much how a Portuguese or German person would pronounce it, just Yupii, and honey, like the word honey that bees make, except you write it with the HUNIE instead of like honey. So yeah, Yupii, Hunie. I hope that helps you. Next question. Tell us what were your inspirations for your character. Well, to be fair, when it comes to inspiration for characters, well, what can I say? It's actually pretty simple. It's just me. It's just me with a little bit of some of my wished aesthetics on top, you know? Stuff like a pink hair streak, not as chaotic hair, but still wavy, which with clothes I wish I could wear, like the cat suspender skirt, or in this version of my avatar, instead of being cat suspenders, like the popular version that is also on sale, it's a cat fist version, because cat punches are cool. And with I wanted to mix magical girls with fighting games. Because basically I think that's like the two big themes that represent me well. The 5 LLR is a reference to fighting game terms, basically just mashing square. And everything else is basically very inspired out of magical girls. This applies to my other outfit as well, with the whole Masher Galaxy themed skirt. As it should be. So, in short, my inspirations for my character is just me plus magical girl plus some clothes and styles I wish I could have, and fighting games. Next question. What content will we see from you as a VTuber, drawing or gaming streams, or both? Well, pretty much both. I will mostly be doing gaming streams because I already do art as a full-time job, and I kind of want to do more stuff that's different from what I already do all day. I want to relax and have fun. Not that drawing is not relaxing and fun, it's just that since I already do it all day, I kind of want to do something else for a change as well. But I will do art streams as well. Especially probably when I'm working on my own projects and the like, then you can see how I complete a picture or how I work on it. Next question is, do you have a favorite FG or fighting game? Yes, I do. It's Samsho. Samsho 2019 to be specific. Yeah, but as we know, with the current state of affairs with the game, with the treating, the marketing, and the not good netcode, yeah, leaves a lot to be desired. But yeah, Samsho is basically my favorite fighting game. It's basically the perfectly crafted fighting game for me. You know, like, it's simple to get into, it's not too many combos to learn, and it's literally just a fighting game that is down to the very basics of fighting games. It's also the one that I recommend mostly to beginners. It's the perfect beginner fighting game, to be honest. But yeah, as I said, poor netcode, not so good choices in the publishing area, but oh well, it is what it is. Other favorite fighting games would be Dragon Ball FighterZ, even though at the moment I have sort of a down period with DBFC. I haven't played it in like a year. Last time I played it was at Christmas. But even then, I wasn't playing it the previous months. More or less, I think I'm kind of tired of constantly like switching characters, having to learn new ones, and the like. It's kind of an exhausting process eventually. But I think once I took my break with it and then later come back, I'll find my passion for the game again, especially like playing casually. Basically, all I need is just a third character. Like, the two most characters I like playing with is Android 21 and GT Goku, and I'm always missing a third character that I constantly switch out, and that's the part that gets most tiring, you know? I could be playing Goku Black, but Goku Black sucks! He sucks! He's not a good character to play with. I mean, okay, he can be fun, but, you know, he doesn't have the tools anymore that make me comfy playing him. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think once I have a third character I like playing with, regardless of tier list standing, I'll be fine with them. And I'll have fun with DVSC again. Another favorite fighting game would be Melty Blood Actress again, to be specific. It's probably the fighting game I played most. Me and my older brother, Mega X, we played this a lot in my teenage years. The version we had no online, so pretty much the only people we had to play with was each other. And we kind of didn't really know the essentials of fighting games. We were just mashing buttons and trying to come up with combos just like that. His Ryogi is a nightmare, and his Kohaku haunts me to this day. But yeah, I love Melty Blood a lot. I used to play with White Ren a lot, and with Akia, and sometimes with Powered Seal. All in Crescent style, by the way. But as I said, when I played, I wasn't really sure how to play it in an optimal way. So I was just picking whatever. Yeah. I'm very excited for the new Melty Blood. I'll definitely play it. It looks like it has big inspirations and from Under Night, which it's the same studio that developed. So I can see that they took what they learned from Under Night and are gonna use the same aesthetic, somewhat same aesthetic, and maybe they'll do a mixture of Melty Blood and Under Night. And speaking of Under Night, that's also one of a favorite game I wish got more attention. I enjoy it a lot, but I haven't really gotten the chance to play it more. Maybe I will sometime. But yeah. TLDR, my favorite fighting game is Samsho, but you know, stuff happened. Stuff happened on the Deadcode side. And DBFZ, Melty Blood Actress again, and Under Night. Okay, let's move on to the next question. What's one fighting game that you like that you wish got more attention? Well, as I just said before, fighting game I wish that had more attention is Samsho. Because Samsho deserves more attention. I know the netcode is bad, but the game really deserves more attention. Samsho community is probably the smallest that I know. Okay, maybe not the smallest, but out of like main fighting game lines and companies and the like, it has a very small fan base. I rarely see like artists and content creators around Samsho. And that makes me sad. I really want to see more, and I really wish it had more attention. I like the lore, the characters, at least the lore as far as the new game goes, right? I don't have more than that. And let's see. I also wish Under Night had more attention, as I said before. I think it's also one of those beginner-friendly fighting games while being more saucy if you get bored of the slowness of Samsho. If you want to do more flashy combos, want to see more cool effects, and want more 2D aesthetic, then Under Night is a game I can definitely recommend, and I wish had more attention. It definitely has more attention than Samsho, but locally I haven't really seen many Under Night people to play with in locals. Maybe that will change once the current elephant situation in the room gets better. And maybe I'll see if it has more attention than Samsho. I know Samsho has somewhat more attention than Hunie, here at least, but still not enough. Both those games deserve more attention, and that's what I say about it. And next question. Do you like specific genre of games? Yeah, I do. Aside of fighting games, like I said, I really like platformers. 2D platformers are some of my favorite sort of games. They're very fun. I've grown up with them essentially. Like, I think I play almost every mainline platformer that exists with the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo had stuff like Super Mario World and Donkey Kong, Yoshi's Island, Tiny Toons, and probably a lot of third-party platformers that I keep forgetting to mention. Then also Sega Genesis platformers like Sonic, the Disney ones. Yeah, I've grown up with platformers, and for that reason, I am very, very fond of them, and I still really enjoy playing them. Specifically 2D platformers, not because 3D platformers are bad or anything, it's just that I'm really bad. I am really bad at 3D platformers, you know? Like, I'm terrible at Mario 64. I am awful at Mario Galaxy, and I think I can only play Mario 3D Land without being an absolute catastrophe. Let's see, other specific genre of games that I like. I enjoy beat 'em ups a lot. And when I say beat 'em ups, okay, a little bit of context. From where I am, Germans use the term beat 'em up a lot to refer to fighting games, which is something that confused me very often as I've been here. Because when I hear beat 'em up, the first thing I think about is Streets of Rage or River City Girls and stuff like that, not Tekken or something. And then someone is like, Tekken is such a good beat 'em up, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Tekken isn't a beat 'em up, is it? But it turns out it just takes beat 'em ups for fighting games. And when I say beat 'em ups, I mean the River City Girls, the Streets of Rage sort of stuff. And also like the Sailor Moon beat 'em ups that I grew up with, they're also fantastic. They're short but fun, and they're very simple. I love the Sailor Moon arcade Sorry, I was about to say fighting game. I love the Sailor Moon arcade, the beat 'em up. It's very, very, very polished, very beautiful. It has some of the prettiest sprite work that I've ever seen, especially on arcade era. And it has kind of cool mechanics. Okay, maybe it doesn't have like groundbreaking mechanics, but it has fun mechanics behind it. And the only thing that's unfortunate about that one is the Sailor Moon arcade beat 'em up was never really finished. They had to kind of rush it out the door. And sadly, it doesn't have worldwide success to get like a real release or something, but I really wish it did. And if it did, I wish they finished it, because it's such a good game. It's so much fun. I really wish someone would do like a re-release or something so that I could actually play it on stream without having resort to certain means. Yeah, beat 'em ups, fighting games, and platformers. And while this isn't a genre specifically, I also really love visual novels. I love them a lot. Like, I prefer the more active ones, like Ace Attorney, which you get to interact more with the game and the like. I do enjoy the Kinect ones, which are more stories with a lot of visuals, like the Higurashi ones or others. Let's see, what's another visual novel that I really enjoy that's more active? Oh yeah, Danganronpa and Your Turn to Die are two of those that I really love. They're fantastic, and I wish to play more of those. And let's see. Then, is there anything else? I like rhythm games. I really like rhythm games a lot. I actually forgot to say this on the actual debut stream, so you'll get to hear it now. I love rhythm games. Taiko no Tatsujin is one of my favorites. I love the Love Live mobile game. the first one before the 3D models. Though I do like the other one as well. I just have to get used to it. But I think I played a lot of those actually, those rhythm games. It's so many that I just get lost in them. And I might not be able to play them on Twitch, so that's kind of sad because of the whole copyright thing. But yeah, TLDR, genres that I like the most are fighting games, platformers, rhythm games, and beat 'em ups. And visual novels if I may count the whole medium as well. And let's continue. Next question. Any JRPGs you like? Okay, so for those who have actually seen the debut, or will see it later at some point, a review of it, two of my favorite games are Yakuza Like a Dragon and Undertale. Those two are my favorite RPGs ever made of all time. But the thing is, as paradoxical as that may sound, I don't actually enjoy RPGs, JRPGs, or Western RPGs. I don't like either of them. It's not because they're bad or anything. They're just not the kind of game for me. I usually get tired of them because of the repetitive cycle of grinding. It gets a little bit tiring in a while, for me personally. Sure, I'm okay with a little bit of grinding, but in some games, in most of the RPGs that I played, I couldn't get into it because of how much I had to do so. And for that reason, I don't enjoy RPGs and the RPGs very much. I tend to sleep with their gameplay. Usually, the two RPGs that I mentioned that I really like, they actually have some merits to their RPGs. Because in Yakuza, Like a Dragon, for example, I really like the side games, the story I love a lot. Ichiban is my baby boy. And you get a lot of things to do on the side of the whole RPG stuff and the like. You also don't have to grind too much. The game is well paced in a way that you can level your characters decently, in a good way. Sure, there are maybe sections you have to grind a little bit, but not so much. And even then, the RPG mechanics in Yakuza Like a Dragon are immense fun. They are more active and with the timings and the like. It's also very comedic. It's fantastic to see. And the game just kept me entertained for that long, for the entire time. Undertale is basically the same. It has a more active way of RPG that I really like, and what mainly kept me was the lore and the characters. This is actually the same with another RPG that I really like, Sailor Moon Another Story, one of the more classic ones, I guess. It does have a lot of grinding. It does. But even though I have gripes with grinding, I stuck with it because I really like it, because of the mechanics behind it, with the dual or triple senshi attacks, the formation attacks, the formation stats, and the story, and really everything. The love that they put in that game is amazing, and I just enjoy it. And there are other JRPGs and the like that I'd like to try sometime. For example, Chrono Trigger, I want to try someday. I hear that one is pretty cool too. And I'd like to give it a shot. That's one of the SNES games that I actually didn't get to play. And let's see, anything else? Well, I'm not sure if this counts as JRPG, but I really like horror RPG maker games. They don't really use the the RPG part, but they really use the same engines and I'm enjoying them a lot, usually because they have no grinding whatsoever. They just have fun exploration. So maybe that doesn't count. That does not count as JRPG. Sorry about that. But given that, I don't really like JRPGs very much. But there are a few exceptions that I absolutely love and adore, and I would actually recommend to others. And next up, what was your first console? Oh well, my first console, according to my parents, it was a Master System, with Alex Kidd being like the very first game that I allegedly ever played. The thing is, I don't actually remember playing it. I believe my parents, of course, that we had a Master System, and maybe like at the very depths of my mind I still remember it. But the first console I remember having and owning was the Super Nintendo. And somewhere along the way, the Mega Drive as well. I don't know if I had it before it or at around the same time, but I had both, but I mostly have fonder memories of the Super Nintendo. So Master System is the actual first console I had, but the Super Nintendo is for me personally the first console I had, because it's the one that I actually remember I have the most memories for. With side note to Genesis. Next up, did you study art anywhere? Yes, I did. I studied art twice. I did 2 different apprenticeship, I think it's what it's called in English. It's called Ausbildung in German. So I'm not sure if that's the correct translation in English. So you'll have to forgive me if I use the wrong translation for it. But technically, it's like a training course in which you study and practice the specific job you want to do later. And you don't get a bachelor or master degree out of it, but you still get a document, a diploma, in which you can later use it to apply for jobs. So you basically have the same qualifications, maybe with a little less of sophisticated college degree. But yeah, I had 2. I first did communication design, which this apprenticeship was set up as a classic college sort of setting, in a school-like setting. So you basically studied as if you were in college, in a classical class way. In communication design, I studied mostly the basic design stuff, like graphic design, communication design, as I said, typography, photography, art direction, art history, even a little bit of animation, motion graphics, video editing, and finally logo design, corporate design, and illustration. As well as like classic art. We did classic art as well. Because of the broad setting of this apprenticeship, I couldn't like completely specialize in just illustration, but to be honest, I actually prefer it that way, because thanks to this communication design apprenticeship, I was able to learn all the other important basics for this sort of job, for the art jobs. Without it, I wouldn't be able to design the overlays that you see that I just did. I wouldn't be able to use nice typography, or okay, you can use all of that even without studying. It's just for me, I was able to learn the theories behind it. So for me personally, it made it easier to do all of these classic design stuff. The only thing that I still suck at, that I really suck at, is corporate and logo design. I'm just not for that. And then the second time I studied was, in fact, game design. No, sorry, not game design. I used the wrong terms. I'm very sorry. Okay, no. I studied game graphics, game art. Before I get to this section though, after I did communication design for 3 years and graduated and got my diploma, I tried to do freelancing, but the problem of that school-like setting was it was set up for you to learn more, and so we did basically no networking. So as a result, I didn't know where to look for jobs. I didn't know how to do the whole business side of things, even though we actually learned how to do taxes as a freelancer in that course. But yeah, it didn't pan out. I didn't really have an audience at the time. I think I basically only had 100 followers or maybe even less. And I didn't know who to contact for gigs, and like I think my portfolio was also kind of weak, to be honest. And for that reason, for 1 year, I wasn't able to get any gigs. The freelancing just didn't pan out at all. So I decided to hone my skills, and instead, I decided to take on game art and game graphics. That's where I mostly was able to specialize in illustration. And this apprenticeship was more unique in a way that it was set up as a way for you to learn. It was 50-50. Basically 50% of a semester was you learning and studying the stuff, the basics of your job, like game design, even a little bit of game coding, some marketing, and other game theory. Not really game theory, but everything else that comes with the game industry side of jobs without the necessary illustration side, you know? And of course, we also had illustration classes and workshops, and these were the best that I've ever had because the teachers that we had were all veterans from the industry, and they were able to give me the shortcuts that I use now, the tips that I like, that I adhere to. I was able to hone my skills in far sharper ways. I feel like I did a massive jump while I was there in art. And they also taught us a lot of the professional shortcuts that we do, like kit bashing and the photo bashing. And even a little bit of 3D blockouts for the more complicated pieces. We also have like portfolio checkups with these teachers, so we always knew what to do to improve our skills, and what to add or remove from our portfolios. And they didn't really do it like in an unfair way. I felt it was very fair, and they gave you advice and let you hone out your skills in a way that felt like you were comfortable with. Like, even though I do a lot of anime and they said you do this very well, and while we know this, expand your abilities a little bit more in other areas, because of how the industry is like, at least where I live, in which it's not the market for the anime. But instead of being like, just don't draw anime, they were like, what's the other sort of thing that you like to draw? You like to draw cute things, right? So how about you learn how to do mascot design and the sort for mobile games? And that's what I did, and it was a lot of fun, and I actually really enjoyed drawing that. And that's what actually really helped me get my job. Yeah, so that 50% was studying, 50% semester of learning, honing out skills, and the other 50% of each of those semesters where you were set up with other people from the semester in small teams, and in that time you would develop a game. And in that way, you would learn how to work with the engines, how to apply yourself with the engines, how to do meetings, your workflows, tasks, and everything like that, pipelines and the like. So basically, they were letting us hone our skills and get better, and at the same time, they were preparing us to work in the industry. And to be honest, when I actually got to my job, I was expecting it to be way more stressful than it was in the semesters, because as we were all learning how to do games, you were bound to hit some hurdles, either with other team members because you were still learning how to communicate properly, or for other reasons. And in that way, when I got into my job, I was actually very surprised to find out it's way more chill than I anticipated. Maybe it's just where I landed, but but the skills that I learned at my semester made it very easy for me to start off at my job. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I studied for 3 years communication design, and the other 3 years were game art, and that's how I landed in my jobs eventually. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that game art apprenticeship I did. They also put a lot of focus in networking in every semester. So in that way, you were already be able to build contacts, and you were able to see which companies are out there, and insiders in that company and the like. So you were already like um, armed with a lot of knowledge and contacts for you, how to explore for jobs and how to get into. It's really thanks to those that I got my job. Yeah. So if anyone ever wants to study game art, I kind of recommend that one. Ah, yeah, that's it. Next question. Do you have a favorite art medium? I do. Uh, my favorite art medium is mostly and dominantly digital art. I enjoy doing digital art the most because it's where I'm most comfortable in. It's where I have all my tools, all my shortcuts. Uh, it's where I know how to do the things that I want to do. It's where I specifically mastered my workflow in. I'm not mastered, I'm still learning, of course. And it's where I also like to learn new things in. It's the medium that I really enjoy drawing with most. I also really like sketching on paper, either with a ballpoint pen or with a pencil. Mostly, I don't know, it just, I've been drawing for as long as I can remember with that, and it's fun to wind down from like the digital art with just a little bit of paper sketching. It just feels great. And while I have a tablet to draw on the go, I don't enjoy drawing on it very much because the pen doesn't glide very well over the screen as it does on a tablet, like on a graphic tablet or on paper. So I actually enjoy drawing more on paper than I do on the tablet on the go. It's a nice change of pace from my digital arts at home or at my job. TLDR, favorite mediums, digital and sketching on paper traditionally. Next question, let's proceed. Sorry about that little slip. Favorite aesthetic for OCs? Oh boy, how do I put this? So my favorite aesthetic for OCs is... This is very difficult to answer, actually. Even after I already answered this question in my actual debut, it's still difficult to answer it because my aesthetic is not always applied to the OCs that I do. So, okay, for my usual philosophy with drawing OC, philosophy, I say it like it's something so deep and wise. Okay, my way of working with designing OCs is basically I usually accommodate them to the world and setting that they are going into, especially in fandom characters who are like fan made. So I didn't even make the setting, I just designed them in a way I feel like they would fit in the setting. An example I can use is my character, my Samsho character, Eleanor. She is a character who, if I could use my own aesthetics, she wouldn't wear the clothes she'd have right now. She'd be using something else. But as I was researching the setting that Samsho is in, I I was looking at what sort of clothes would villagers wear at that time, which is like the Edo period, Tokugawa shogunate period. And I wanted to give her a hakama, like one of those hakama that women started to wear in somewhat later times. At that time period, from what I read, they were mostly used by men, so women didn't really have them, or maybe they did, and I just don't know. But point is, I looked up what villagers used to wear in that sort of setting, and I accommodated Elia's wardrobe. Wardrobe? How do you pronounce that word? I designed her clothes based on that research that I looked up into, and by looking at other Samsho characters or characters in similar settings. I personally feel like she's not 100% fitting into the Samsho cast with the whole blues and the like, but I think it's pretty close. But when it comes to my own personal aesthetics, I usually tend to inject them more into original characters from my own projects, such as Misha. She is a character who has a sort of similar fashion style as my avatar, with the shirt and the high-waist skirts, more simplistic casual design. It's like clothes that I wish I could wear but don't actually own. Sorry. Sorry for the coughing. Let me see something. Let me see if it's possible for me to whip up a picture. How come? Where is it? Where is it? Come on, don't hide from me. Don't hide from me. No. Where are you? Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna get some pictures. Okay, guys, I'm back and with pictures. Sorry about that little. I was a little bit unprepared for that part. As I was saying, on Misha specifically, I did that high waist skirt with a simple shirt outfit, the fluffy hair, and the big squishy body, because I like to draw soft and squishy people. I like to draw different body types and the like, and specifically soft squish people, because I kind of want to see more characters who look like me, a little bit plump and chubby. Let's see. Let's do another character that I can show, and that's gonna be, let's do Tessa, who is my Freedom Planet character. She has multiple outfits, but I just did her standard NPC outfit. So as you can see, she has a very East Asian, specifically Chinese inspired outfit. Okay, East Asian is more specific, because the setting of Freedom Planet is in that East Asian setting, and I tried to do the design similar to what I think would fit in that setting, based on the other characters that I've seen in the game, and with a little bit of research as well. Mostly I accommodated to the designs of the game itself, and my own aesthetic in here is the long flowy hair, the colors that I use, especially the magenta and the jade, and the very friendly looking face, I guess. I didn't use that much of my own aesthetic on Tessa, but maybe she ended up defining part of my aesthetic on characters that way. By that I mean just the way of her body language and her overall color palette, rather than other reasons. I can show her other outfit, in which you can definitely see where my personal aesthetic went into more into picture. There, her having shorter hair, looking a little bit more muscular. Maybe in this picture it's not very visible, but my personal aesthetic came out pretty big here in the way of how her face looks with her hair, her hairstyle, the body type that she has, which is more muscular and somewhat pear-shaped, in which she has muscular thighs, while still maintaining the sort of colors that I liked on her, the jade especially, and a little bit of magenta, because we always gotta have some pink. I love using the color pink. And finally, let's show one more character. Let's do my Dragon Ball character, Katameru. So with Katameru, I actually couldn't use that much of my own aesthetic on him, because I had to maintain the rules of the lore. He's a Supreme Kai apprentice, and these sort of characters in Dragon Ball, they're kind of stuck with a uniform and a very specific set on colors depending on the universe they came from. But I ended up picking the colors and the universe that I think would suit Kata more. So the whites, the reds, and the blue. But what I did use in my own aesthetic is the longer ears that he has, because I feel like it's nice to vary a little bit on that front in the terms of Dragon Ball characters. And the eyelashes are also kind of my own aesthetic, shoehorned into him. Mostly because I'm not drawing in Dragon Ball style, but if it was in Dragon Ball style, I think it would be a little bit more difficult to get his eyelashes like I want. And the long flowy hair. I wanted to give him long flowy hair. I needed that aesthetic. I like fluffy hair and long hair. And sometimes short, but I like fluffy hair overall. He's actually bald on this side of his head, but his hair is so long on the right? On this side that it goes on the other, on the bald side. And that's pretty much a rough way I can describe my favorite aesthetic for OCs. I hope it could clear up. But basically, I just like drawing different body types. Warm pastel colors, pink especially, and most of the time girls, but not always. And okay, having that aside, let's go to the next question, which is favorite color scheme to draw with. Oh, okay. As I just said, right now, I like using warm colors that aren't necessarily super vibrant. I prefer using colors that aren't like a magenta, a high saturated magenta, a neon yellow and green and whatever. I like to use vibrant colors, but not that vibrant. As I was suggested to describe it, warm pastels are the sort of colors that I like to work with. The salmon-ish pink, the softer yellow, the peach-like, the peach-ish pinks, and oranges, as well as the off-white look to give it a warmer look. I don't like to use colors like pure white and the like, because I feel like it looks a little bit stale, at least in my coloring schemes. I always like the warm off-white look, because it just meshes better for me personally. I usually tend to use the pure white for the shiniest parts, like the eye shine, like that you see in my eyes right now. And that's pretty much it, I think. Yeah, so pinks, warm pastels, and actually also night galaxy schemes. Those are my sort of color palettes to work with. Mostly in spirit of the 90s and 80s anime. I mostly inspire my color palettes off of that. Or maybe I just took them even without inspiring off them, like directly. And next question. Hi, honey. I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say hello. Well, hello. I already said hello on the actual debut stream, but sorry that I can't like give you a shout out on the chat and be like, if you are watching, I hope you're having a good day. But even if you are watching this offline re-recording, I hope you're having a good day, and please stay hydrated and healthy. And let's continue. Thank you for saying hello, by the way. Is the star in your hair a hair clip? Yeah, it's a hair clip, just a normal hair clip. It doesn't really have jiggle effects at the moment in my model, as you can see, but it's just a normal hair clip, kind of one I wish I had in real life, with no special abilities whatsoever. Next up, do you have a magical girl staff weapon? Yeah, I do. I do have one. It's very real. It's totally not a bootleg that I picked from a toy store at the sales bin for one euro. It totally works. Look, I can even show you proof. Give me a second. I have to search for the proof, but I definitely have it. No! Come on! Come on! Don't do me like this. I need the proof. I need the proof now. Come on! Don't do this to me! No! Give me a second. Just be patient. I have the picture somewhere. Come on. Come on, don't do me like this. I'm just asking for... No! Come on, not here. Not here. There we go. I finally have the proof. Ah! This is what I get for not being prepared. Okay. Sorry, Kata. I'm gonna have to switch you out for my very real, not bootleg wand. And there we go. There we go. That's my wand, which is, like I said, totally real. Totally real. I could totally defeat you with it. If Sailor Chibi Moon and the Precure, who totally have plastic toys as magical girl weapons, I can pull it off too. Okay? So if that answered your question, that's my real, very real magical girl staff. And let's move on. Let's go. Question that's not really a question. List of 2D husbandos. No need to rank them. It would be too hard otherwise. Haha. Well, okay. Yeah. This is maybe not a question I can properly answer, but because I don't really have husbandos or waifus or whatever. There are maybe fictional characters I find kinda attractive, but not really, because I don't really tick that way. Because I don't really experience attraction as most people do, but I kinda also do a little bit. I don't know how to explain. It's hard. I never know if I should say if I'm demi or bi. But basically, as I said, I don't really have husbandos or waifus for that reason, because I rarely look at the character and I'm like, oh, we could practice, help. But basically, realistically speaking, the list would look like, in a tier list setting, it would look like, at the very top of the tier list, you have TBA, boyfriend avatar, which he doesn't have any yet, like at S+++ ranking, and 5 rows below the actual list starts of the answer for this question. Basically these but these characters would be, I'm gonna include women as well because I just think it's only fair for my BS or whatever. So first off, Yashamaru. A lot of people know me for being a bit feral about this character. No, nowadays I'm not really, but I still really like his aesthetic. Yeah. I like his aesthetic, I like his hair, the way he's modeled and everything. He's a character I take comfort in and I maybe find just a little bit attractive, but still, like I said, 5 rows below the actual TBA boyfriend avatar list. And let's see, then she's not really a 2D character, but I hope I can count her too. She's more 3D. Reina from Yakuza is a character I find very pretty, and I'm still hurting what they did to her. My girl, she deserved better. She deserved better. But yeah, she's very pretty. I wish she had a better fate. Then next up, I think a character I can sort of mention is Lizergo from Shaman King Marcos, and I want to specifically underline the Marcos spin-off where he's like 24, not the other versions, and only that one, so only Marcos Lizergo. Then there would be Boa Hancock. She's like the perfect aesthetic for me. I think she's very pretty. She's extremely gorgeous. She's so pretty. It's not fair. And she has the hair that I sort of love and everything. She's just very, very, very pretty. I think she's very pretty. Maybe that's the list that I can maybe that's how I'm gonna call the list. Instead of 2D husbandos and waifus, I'm gonna call it 2D list of characters I personally find pretty, and that I maybe can say are kind of attractive in that sense. Then after that, I can say Morrigan and Chun-Li. They were kind of my first FGC women that I've ever seen when I was very young. And Morrigan is who mama, and Chun-Li is very pretty. Let's see who else is there. I almost played RE8 just for Lady Dimitrescu mama, but I couldn't. I'm too much of a coward to play horror games. Then there is, I think Rui from Tsukyuta is very pretty. And like I've seen him first in the anime, and the series kind of goes such in real time, in which the characters actually age per year. In the 2019 or 18 anime I saw, he was like I don't know, I think he was 1920. And at the current iteration I think he's 24 or something. Any case, I think he's a pretty character, but nothing I would be like weird about. Let's see. So I already mentioned Morrigan and Chun-Li. I already mentioned Reina. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I almost forgot. Alex from Street Fighter is very, very pretty. He's not really my type. There's a lot of times I'm still very nitpicky at how he's drawn by some artists. I like the super macho look that he gets in some artworks in the games. But there was at some point I was looking at this character and I was like, he's kind of like a bear, and then it suddenly made click and I started to think he's a pretty character. And yeah, I bought Street Fighter 5 just for him. Don't judge. Don't judge, please. I did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't really have people or characters I'd be like husband or waifu. Except maybe TBA boyfriend avatar. Okay, let's move on. I spent too much in this question. Next up. What are your biggest art influences and why? I would love to know what has influenced your current art style, and since it's very visual and colorful. Okay, so the first artist I can think of that inspired me a lot is Atsuko Nakajima. She is one of the artists behind the Ranma anime. She did a lot of the character designs and marketing artworks based on Rumiko Takahashi anime adaptations like Urusei Yatsura and others. I specifically like the look that she had in earlier Ranma seasons and the like. Let me pull up a picture. Oh boy, that's very big. That's very large. Give me a second. Give me a very short second. Hope YouTube doesn't hit me for using a too big image. But there we go. There we go. That's an image I can use as an example of what I really inspire of her work. I like how she has these soft round shapes, the big eyes, but not like very detailed. It's simple and nice. I like the floofy hairs that she draws and the outfits that she picks and the like. Pretty much that's where my biggest inspiration of art is, and I kind of hope it reflects also. I've had someone say their art reminds them of Urusei Yatsura, and I was extremely happy to hear that. Then another artist that inspires me is Ikuko Ito. Most people know her for her redraw Sailor Moon art, the whole screen cap redraw. She has this somewhat more elegant-ish look to Sailor Moon and a very refined look. She also directed the season Super S, which kinda is not a very good season of Sailor Moon. There are good episodes there, but it's kinda famously known as the worst Sailor Moon season. But yeah, she has this sort of elegant look to it that I really like. The flowiness, the composition that she uses, the detail level and the like. It just goes to have the delicacy that she has in her art. Sailor Moon as a whole really inspires me. There are other artists in the anime that I really like. One, even the somewhat unpopular one, Ando. He's done good work in the show, but he's kind of known for being inconsistent. But one of his better works is for working on stock footage like the crescent beam for Sailor Venus. As you can see, he has a sort of more soft, chubbier look for the characters, which I really love. It's something that I really enjoy in his art, which sadly doesn't really reflect all the time in it. He doesn't always put out the best of art, but when he does, it's I just still really enjoy that somewhat off-model but chubby Sailor Moon look. Most people sadly know him for stuff like this, for the lower quality, I guess. But even then, I still kind of like it in a way. It's just soft and simplistic. Then another artist that inevitably that inspired me one way or another is Akira Toriyama. He I've grown up with Dragon Ball, so oh god, the picture is large as heck. Here we go. Akira Toriyama inspired me a lot, either because of the Dragon Ball anime and the manga as well. Sorry. He has this timeless look in in older anime and manga that I really like. His art can get very detailed, as you can see, and I just really enjoy it. It's very pretty. It's very, very pretty. I really like the softer look he's able to give to characters, and also the more angular shapes for the more fierce characters like Piccolo and Vegeta. One way or another, I think the art rubbed off in me in some way, even though it's not my main inspiration. But I hope to get that whimsical feel that he gets with his art, especially in like earlier Dragon Ball and the like, or with pictures like this. I think an artist in Dragon Ball that inspires me more is the newer artist who directed the Super movie, the one with Broly. He gave the characters this squiggly, soft look, like the way he got Goku looking very, very squiggly and bouncy and very even more friendly than he already is in other art. Yeah, I just really like that look, and I kind of want to try to do more, make my art more bouncy and lively looking. And I kind of look for him for inspiration in that sense. Then other artists that inspire me are artists like Gigi Digi, the artist behind Cucumber Quest. I absolutely adore her character designs, her atmospheric coloring. Her coloring is basically, for me personally, some of the best I've ever seen. Like, perfect color palette picking. And my color palettes probably are very inspired from her. She also did Lady of the Shard, and I think other stuff, but that's the two main works I mainly know her for. Yeah, so she inspires me a lot, especially in the color department and character design as well. Then artists like Shirin Huang, the artist behind Carsifona and Amongst Us. Yeah, I think that's what the comic was called. Yupie, also known as Judos, Rubber Riddle, and many other artists like Osho Aoyama, the artist for Conan, and so on and so forth. If I continue, I will never end. Art is one of those departments I get most excited for, and I buy a lot of art books for. Sorry. Senbon Umishima. Oh my gosh. Senbon Umishima is also an artist that inspires me most recently. And it continues. The list will just continue forever. I'm just never gonna stop. Okay, before I continue rambling off about artists that inspire me, I'll just continue to the next slide. Also, by the way, thank you for saying for the compliments about my art. That makes me very happy to hear. Next up, we have, what's your favorite magical girl weapon? Right off the bat, Sailor Moon weapons are probably my favorites in terms of design, because I think they have a very sleek design. While the 80s anime still tried to sell some of the weapons as toys, and that kind of reflects a little. You can see that basing off Naoko's designs, they still maintained the more simplistic, not too plastic look. In that way, weapons that I can say from Sailor Moon that are my favorite are the Venus Love Me chain, the Moon Kaleidoscope, the one that Sailor Moon uses in Super S, like one of the good things in Super S, to perform the attack Moon Gorgeous Meditation. I like, actually, even the Eternal version I like too. The 90s anime has a more colorful, vibrant look to it, and the Eternal version, or like Naoko's version, has a very luxury item-like sort of thing, which I really like. I also like the Moon Spiral Heart Rod. Is it Moon Spiral Heart Rod? Spiral Heart Rod? Whatever. The one that Sailor Moon uses to in the S season to perform the attacks like Moon Spiral Heart Attack, Rainbow Heart Ache. I really enjoy the not too overblown look and the more sleek design that it has. I also like Saturn's Silent Grave and Pluto's Garnet Rod. That's pretty much on the Sailor Moon department of weapons. I also really like the magical Doremi ones from the first season, the ones with the big tops and with the very nice jingles. I like in Precure, even Precure weapons I enjoy, even when they have the more plastic look to it, given that the whole show is a marketing show to sell toys. I like the flower attacks from Hard Catch, as well as the shiny tambourine, the cure sticks, so like the peach rod, Espoir sword, pine flute, and happiness harp. And I really like the cure beats, the beat guitar, I think, the soul guitar and soul rod. Yeah, it kind of has two modes, one which is like a rod staff and the other which is like a guitar that shoots nuclear rings. Stuff like that. And I also like the designs from the card capture Sakura lens, even though I haven't really gotten too deep into it. I only remember having seen them in my childhood and liking their designs. And that's pretty much on the favorite magical girl weapon designs. Though I like to also give a shout out to, no, actually, definitely in my favorites is Homura's shield thing from Madoka Magica. The storing capabilities and the sleek design is very nice. And a special shout out to Mami's guns too. Next up, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? If you like ice cream. My favorite flavors of ice cream are mango, lemon, vanilla, as well as hazelnuts, or what's it called in English, hazelnut. I also like sometimes the Schlumpf ice, which is called the Smurf ice in German. It's a blue one. Sometimes it's called the Angel Blue, so Engelblau. I don't know what's it based off of. I just know they like to joke that it's the Smurf ice that Gargamel made, but yeah. What else? I think that's pretty much it on the ice creams that are my favorite. I enjoy others, but those are the ones that I like the most. Next up, what's a song that you've been addicted to lately? So a song that I've been addicted to lately is actually the new Higurashi opening that they've previewed on the new trailer. So I think it's called Analogy. It sounds like a banger. They've previewed it in the radio, so I've been able to listen to a fuller version of it. So I've been listening to that a lot. It's a banger. And I listen to Yakuza's Zero soundtrack, the song Tusk specifically, at least once a day, because it's the best one, the best dungeon track. It's my favorite Yakuza 0 track. I know people like Kuze's track the most, but Tusk is for me my personal favorite. And I think that's pretty much on the listening department. Aside of like, I've been listening to the Sailor Moon Super Nintendo game OST a lot lately. A little bit less right now. Mostly been shifted to the Higurashi song, but that's pretty much it. Next. What's an anime you didn't think you would like but ended up loving? Okay, so in my debut, I said one of my favorite anime is Fullmetal Alchemist, and don't be surprised when I say this, I didn't actually expect to end up loving it the way I did. The reason behind that was, as a teenager many years ago, I read the manga and watched the original anime, a few episodes, but mostly read the manga. And I don't know what it was, but I ended up getting bored of it. Maybe because the translation didn't vibe with me, as I don't really enjoy reading in German. So at the end of the day, I didn't really like the anime very much. Uh, Not the anime, sorry, the manga very much at the time. And a few years later, I was recommended to watch it because I was kind of out of anime to watch, at least that I felt like watching. And people recommended me it, so I watched Brotherhood, and I ended up really loving it. I blasted through it pretty fast, at least in my standards. And it's definitely now one of my top 5 anime. Another anime that I mentioned in my debut that I really like is Hakuto Precure, and that was also one of those that I didn't expect loving. Mostly because when the poster was previewed for the new season, and the marketing behind it was like, this show theme is motherhood and stuff like that, and I was afraid that they would do stuff like insert a narrative and moral that like every girl wants to be a mama, and I don't enjoy that. I feel like that's kind of weird. So I initially put off the season for that reason, but after I heard from friends and other people how good the season is, I decided to give it a go. Watched the first episode, was instantly hooked, and I ended up watching it, really loving it. It's the season that probably makes me and still like it made me and still makes me cry the hardest of all Precure seasons. It has very mature and nuanced storytelling. It addresses stuff like gender, a fear of growing old, fear of the future, and other stuff like that. They did a fantastic job at writing the characters, at the spacing of the story, and everything else. Like, that's definitely a season I would recommend. One of the very best of all the seasons after these 20 years. Those are the 2 animes that I didn't expect I would like, but ended up really loving to the point it's part of my favorites now. Next up. What is a franchise, doesn't matter if it's a game, anime, etc., you want to get into but didn't have the chance to yet? Umineko is one of the franchises I wanted to get into, but never got to. I still really want to get into it. I've been kind of intimidated to start it because I still have to buy the visual novels, and I know they are very long. They take hours, like days, maybe weeks to finish. But I heard how good it is. It has a deep meta level of writing and stuff. And while I can read the manga, if sometime I get too intimidated of reading the visual novels, I'll just read the manga. So that's a series I really want to get into. It's from the same writer as Higurashi, so I have faith that it's actually a pretty good series, and I won't be disappointed by it. Next up. If money was unlimited, what would be the one thing you'd buy that you've always wanted? I think this is the last question that I have at least saved up, which which is great. Okay, we are almost at the end. Whee! So, like I said, if money was unlimited, I would get immortality. Okay, jokes aside, I would get. What did I want to say? I would probably quit my job and just do whatever I want, work only in my own projects, and live peacefully, just do whatever the hell I wanted in terms of what I want to draw. And I would probably fly over the world to meet friends that I know over the internet but never got the chance to meet in real life. Like, I wouldn't travel through the entire globe, whatever. I would just go to the places where the friends live to see them. And I would also get a Retro Freak because I really want that. It's a system that can play multiple console games, like the Super Nintendo, the Famicom, the NES, the Mega Drive. Game Boy, PC Engine, and everything else. And I really want to own that because I like to play older games a lot. And yeah, I really want to play those games. Especially I want to catch up to the TurboGrafx and PC Engine games. The other thing is it's gonna make streaming these games a lot easier because it has an HDMI input, and it even has a patch system, so I can play games that didn't come out here and use a patch to play them in English or whatever other language I prefer. So Sailor Moon Another Story is a game I can in fact play on stream someday. Without having to get into legalities and trouble like that. I could also play and stream GBA games very easily, like the Shaman King Master of Spirits games, which I really want to play sometime, and Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure, which is my favorite Dragon Ball game. And finally, I would give friends who aren't very well paid, decent money that they can live in. I would give them good money so they could live well because they deserve it. And I think, oh yeah, I would also use that money to invest in a technology, in developing magical girl weapons. Not really weapons, just magical girl stuff. With technology. Similarly, like in Lyrical Nanoha, in which they use a mixture of magic and high-tech sci-fi to do the whole magical girl stuff that they do. Maybe something like that. Maybe we can't do the classic magic that we like the most, but maybe the tech / magic fusion is something that we can do. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know what I would do with all that money, aside of getting like 50 cats and everything else I just said. I think that was the final question. Yeah, that was the final question for the Q&A reel. However, I got 2 more additional questions in the chat, which were my thoughts and opinion on Madoka and Ruby, as well as what were my favorite streamers. So for the first one, in terms of what did I think of Madoka, my opinion on Madoka is that I do enjoy it. It's not necessarily my favorite magical girl series, but it's one that I really like. There was a time I had a hostility towards it because a lot of anime fans started using that anime and a lot of dark magical girl animes to say like, Madoka is the only good magical girl series because it's grim, dark, and everything, and all the other magical girl series are kiddie bull who have no value whatsoever, and that sort of stuff really hurt, especially because the magical girl genre is very important to me. So for a while, I kind of associated Madoka with that sort of mindset, and I kind of had a hostility towards it for that reason in a while. But eventually, after some discussing and whatever, I kind of made amends with it, I guess, and I'm able to enjoy it a lot as I used to again, in spite of what a lot of kind of weird anime fans say. I specifically really like how Madoka has the opportunity to use spin-offs to develop the characters even more, because that was one of the things that I kind of lamented in the original anime. For its 12-episode run, it didn't have the chance to delve into some of the characters deeper. And one of the manga delved deeper into Mami and Kyoko, and after I read it, Mami became my favorite character, so much so that I have an end of her in my display case. Homura is also one of my favorites, so Achi and Mami are my favorites. And the Rebellion movie just went full on and just gave me the fight of my dreams. But yeah, I'm excited for a new movie that's coming out. I enjoy Madoka, and it's one of the anime I would also recommend in the Magical Girl series if you want something that more mature, but not sit through 59 episodes of like Hard Catch or many episodes of 200 episodes of Sailor Moon and the like. Because that's something difficult in the Magical Girl genre. It's difficult to recommend one, because most people nowadays prefer to watch something that isn't as time consuming. So Madoka is like the perfect length to consume, and it's like very well written and the like. And if people want to get deeper into it, they have the movies and the spin-off series, the manga, and the like. I heard the PSP game exists as well and also goes deeper into all the other characters. So if there's a way I find to play it, maybe I'll even play it on stream. Let's see. Then thoughts on Ruby is I have none because I haven't watched it. Then the last question that I got on chat was what's my favorite streamer? And my favorite streamer, I don't really have specifically a streamer I would say is my absolute favorite, even when I count VTubers. It's easier to say favorite VTubers than streamers specifically because I consume more VTuber content than I do regular streaming content. Mostly because of my time zone, it makes it difficult to catch up to streamers I would like to watch more. So that being said, my favorite streamers are Damascus, even though I mostly can just see his Wanted Tuesday videos. I usually miss out the other ones. But I really enjoy his streams. His commentary is fantastic. Always makes me happy to hear. Very hype. Then I like... what were the other streamers that I mentioned that I really like other than Damascus? Kind of forgot, to be honest. Okay, then I'll just mention VTubers. VTubers that I really like are Korone, Coco, Godspeed Coco. I like other indie VTubers as well. I've been looking at others, like my friend Onsta and Nate Neo, and some others. Let's see, Korone, Coco, Nate, Onsta. I still have to catch up the other of my VTuber friends' streams, so if I don't mention them here, it's because I haven't watched it yet, but I really want to, and I really support them. I also really like, I've been starting to watch more Kiara and Gura streams, especially since Kiara started playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, and Gura, I found out she plays rhythm games a lot, so I've been watching more of her streams. And I think that's pretty much it that I can say. That concludes the Q&A section. I hope you enjoy it, even though for those who already watched it, it's just a repeat of what I said in the original debut. And for those who didn't get to watch it, I hope the offline re-recording was satisfactory to you, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. Bye! Have a good day and stay hydrated.